NASA wants to get back to the moon faster than ever, and SpaceX's shocking moon solution just changed everything. For years, NASA's plan to return astronauts to the moon has been powerful, ambitious, and very slow. Many steps, lots of waiting. But now something has changed. Behind closed doors, NASA has been reviewing new ideas, and one of them, coming from SpaceX, may completely reshape how humans return to the lunar surface. And if this plan works, it could rewrite the moon race. Recently, a spokesperson from NASA confirmed something important. The agency has received and is reviewing proposals from both SpaceX and Blue Origin, also called HLS. NASA also plans to ask the wider aerospace industry for ideas. A special review group is being formed. Their job is simple, but urgent. Figure out the fastest and safest way to return astronauts to the moon. Why the rush? Because space is no longer quiet. Other nations are moving fast. The moon is becoming a strategic place, not just a scientific one. NASA does not want to fall behind. SpaceX told NASA it has a proposal for a simpler mission, fewer steps, and possibly much lower cost.
Space agency splits into four main areas: Earth science, planetary science, heliophysics, and astrophysics. The Directorate's cosmic horizon is thus vast, spanning missions that investigate Earth from space to unmanned efforts that explore other planets such as Mars and Jupiter.
To understand why this matters, we need to look at NASA's current plan under the Artemis program. First, a special lunar version of Starship launches into low Earth orbit. Then, several tanker Starships launch to refuel it. After that, Starship heads toward the moon. It enters a special high lunar orbit and waits. Next, NASA launches the Space Launch System rocket carrying the Orion spacecraft with 4 astronauts. Orion flies to the moon and docks with Starship. 2 astronauts move over, ride Starship down to the surface, complete their mission, then fly back up. They rejoin Orion. Orion re-enters to Earth. Starship stays behind. That is a lot of steps, a lot of launches, a lot of chances for delays. Even experts admit that this is one of the most complicated human missions ever planned.
Launch, spacecraft checkouts in high Earth orbit, a free return flight around the moon, and splashdown and recovery.
Elon Musk has hinted before that Starship could eventually do everything. Launch, travel, land, return, no Orion, no SLS, just Starship. But in the near term, that is very hard. Starship is still being tested. It has never carried humans, and the lunar version does not even have a heat shield for Earth re-entry. So, if SpaceX is serious about speeding things up soon, it likely needs a smarter shortcut. That shortcut may already exist.
Pitching downrange.
SpaceX already flies astronauts to orbit using Crew Dragon. It launches on Falcon 9. It lands safely in the ocean. It works. The big question is this: could Crew Dragon be upgraded to support lunar missions? From an engineering view, it is not impossible. Space missions are about energy, also called Delta V. Crew Dragon would need upgrades. First, heat protection. Returning from the moon is much faster than returning from orbit. That means much more heat. Dragon's current heat shield would likely need major improvement. Second, life support. Dragon can support a crew for about a week to 10 days. A lunar mission pushes that limit. Apollo missions lasted up to 12 days. Orion is designed for over 20. Dragon could do it, but with very little margin. More oxygen and carbon dioxide scrubbers would be needed. That adds weight, and space inside Dragon is already limited.
The SpaceX Crew Dragon is the first spacecraft from a private company to take humans into space. In this video, we're going to take a look inside and see how it works.
One possible SpaceX solution mixes Starship and Dragon in a new way. Imagine this: astronauts launch into orbit aboard Crew Dragon just like today. Once in orbit, they transfer into a lunar Starship. Starship takes them to the moon and lands. After the surface mission, Starship lifts off into low lunar orbit. Waiting there is another Crew Dragon. This one was launched earlier on a Falcon Heavy rocket, uncrewed. Falcon Heavy has enough power to send Dragon toward the moon. The crew transfers into Dragon. Dragon fires its engines to head back to Earth. It re-enters, splashdown, mission complete. In this setup, Dragon only needs to support astronauts for the trip home. That is well within its limits. Starship handles the hard work near the moon. No Orion, no SLS.
The LEM ascent stage was jettisoned, and the CSM entered the trans-Earth injection phase to make the voyage back to Earth.
This kind of plan uses hardware that SpaceX already has. Falcon Heavy exists. Crew Dragon exists. Starship is already being developed for the moon. It cuts out NASA's 3 biggest bottlenecks. No waiting for SLS launch schedules, no dependency on Orion readiness, no need for extremely high lunar orbits that burn extra fuel, but it also spreads risk. If something goes wrong, astronauts are not stuck relying on one giant vehicle. This is the kind of simplification NASA has been quietly asking for.
The first stage of the SLS is jettisoned, and the crew aboard Orion coast for several days toward all that awaits them at the moon. Approaching the moon, we see the fundamental differences between Artemis and Apollo.
Some people ask an even bigger question. Why not just use Starship for everything? Well, right now that does not work. The lunar Starship does not have a heat shield. It cannot survive Earth re-entry. It also does not have enough fuel to leave lunar orbit and return on its own. There is a possible workaround. A fully shielded Starship could fly to lunar orbit, pick up astronauts, and return to Earth. But this still means launching humans on Starship and landing them on Earth inside it. That adds risk, and Starship has not reached that level of reliability yet. In the future, maybe, but not today.
See how fast this vehicle is moving on the left hand screen.
SpaceX is not alone in this race. Blue Origin is developing its own lunar lander called Blue Moon. NASA has already paid hundreds of millions to support this effort. The next version, Blue Moon Mark II, is designed for astronauts, but it likely will not be ready until the 2030s. Before that, Blue Origin plans to fly Blue Moon Mark I. Mark I does not need refueling in space. That is a big advantage, but it cannot carry people yet. Could it be upgraded? Possibly. It is larger than the Apollo lunar module. With enough changes, it could support a crew. The challenge is fuel. Under NASA's architecture, landers must operate from a high lunar orbit. That burns a lot of energy. Blue Origin has not revealed its final plan, but it may involve multiple landers working together.
On the other hand, the Mark II supports human missions and, in its cargo variant, transports heavy payloads like habitats and rovers to the lunar surface.
If we are only asking who lands astronauts first, the answer is not clear. Blue Origin has NASA support and a slower, cautious approach that sometimes works. But if we ask a bigger question, who can make moon missions routine, affordable, and scalable, the answer leans strongly towards SpaceX. Starship is designed to move massive cargo, habitats, rovers, supplies, all in one flight. That matters if NASA wants more than footprints. It matters if the moon becomes a base, not a destination. SpaceX is not just planning a mission, it is planning a system.
You could anchor an electric winch into the ground or a very big rock or the base of another Starship and use that for your lateral force as well.
What makes this moment important is not a single spacecraft, it is the mindset. NASA is openly asking for faster solutions. SpaceX is proposing simpler architectures. Old assumptions are being questioned. The moon race is no longer about flags, it is about presence and speed. And for the first time in decades, NASA may accept a radically different way to get there. Nothing is official yet, plans can change, and engineering is hard. Space is unforgiving. But one thing is clear. If SpaceX's simplified moon solution is approved, it will not just speed things up. It will change how we think about lunar missions entirely. And once that door opens, there may be no going back.